As we welcome you into the NHL on TNT postgame show presented by Vanda Pharmaceuticals, Liam McHugh, Henrik, Lundqvist. Any words you want to give to your Viking friends
I thought
there?
that was Eckholm for a second.
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
you think he's just that's his family?
He's
just
two
sitting there?
brothers.
Yes,
It's going to be a long day at the beach tomorrow, regrouping for game four.
Those guys can't tan.
Look at them.
Yeah.
That looks like Biz when you walked in.
Oh,
Jesus.
Anson Carter, Liam McHugh, Paul Bissonnette, Wayne Gretzky. 122 combined penalty minutes in that third period. Brian Boucher said it, and I think it's the first time we experienced it during this final series. It felt like what the Panthers do when they irritate and they agitate finally got to Edmonton tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully this was a one and done, right? Right from the beginning of the game, the first shift, you could tell Florida had something that Edmonton didn't have. And Florida created the atmosphere to the way they wanted to play tonight. They were moving the puck. They were creating chances. Their goaltender was better. Their defense were better. They were moving the puck. And I agree. Consequently, Edmonton got frustrated at the end. And, you know, for Edmonton, they're going to have to turn it around. And one of the big things is they're going to have to realize they got to initiate, not retaliate. They retaliated the whole game. And that's not going to make you successful. You got to initiate, whether it's getting to the puck first, whether it's taking the body first. Everything seemed to be a response to what Florida was doing to them. And listen, I'm not blaming the goaltender, but that goaltender has to be as good as Bob, or you're going to have nights like this.
We're going to talk more about that situation going forward with Edmonton, but let's get to the highlight right here, because you're right. It was a night of things happening to the Oilers and the Oilers trying to respond. McDavid, magical first couple of games. Sergei Bobrovsky ready to go for this one, but right off the bat, Bam Adebayo smashing that drum, and early on, here come the Panthers. Here's Brad Marchand, and where is Stuart Skinner?
Yeah, and as Wayne said, you can't really just blame the goaltender. An uncharacteristic off the face-off, center on center. Draisaitl loses his guy. They set a pick play, go right to the blue paint, and Marchand goes skate the stick, and it went from bad to worse after that. You can't take penalties. They took 4 minors, the Oilers, in the first period. Yeah, I know Florida did too, but look at this execution. A beautiful pass over from Rodriguez. He goes upstairs. If Verhaeghe doesn't miss those.
And they used that bumper play many times tonight. It's definitely something Edmonton needs to talk about going into game 4.
Here's the one highlight for the Oilers, and it's a positive that Perry's playing this well and his hands are still this good.
What a play. I mean, Bob was anticipating the deflection. Corey Perry used those sweet hands to stop the puck and put it home. But what a night for Sasha Barkov. The guy was a monster on the penalty kill, great on the forecheck, and makes that play there by getting it over to Reinhart, who takes advantage of that Wallman screen.
And then it's the physical play that we saw in this series. Sam Bennett, such a force scoring goals, but man, irritates and then just takes the body.
Yeah, I mean, he was a force tonight, just really getting underneath the skin of the Oilers superstars. And here's the end-up breakaway. Beautiful little move here. Backhand, forehand, top cheese on Skinner. I thought they maybe should have pulled him at this point. No, Hank?
I was just going to say, that shift will be sent to a lot of hockey camps this summer to explain how do you have a great shift as a forward. A couple big hits and then you finish like that. That was textbook.
Heads up, Boosh. Heads up, little rain showers there. I keep thinking that the Florida Panthers have to fire their trainer, because they keep missing an extra number 9 on Bennett's jersey. He looked like 99, not number 9.
That's how bad the night was going for the Oilers. They got the TV guy, nobody from the Panthers.
Nobody was happy.
Couldn't even get the water right.
I think he was just trying to cool them down, considering how well they were playing for
He
crying
cooled
out loud.
Bush down.
Flyers are about to cross there. He's banging the glass. And then, listen, Bennett trying not to retaliate.
No, smart in this position, and they got guys on that roster who'd handle this. Gadjevich goes over, and he wants to handle the business, as he did. He ends up getting paired up with Nurse, and this one went the distance. There's a look at Gadjevich right there.
What a psycho.
I think even the Vikings down there would be scared of that guy, for crying out
His
loud.
beard was as big as those 2 guys earlier.
But Jordan Gadjevich, he's a phenomenal story, too. I mean, here's a guy who was a healthy scratch their entire playoff run last year to the Stanley Cup. Comes back, healthy scratch for the Tampa series, the first 2 games of that Toronto series. Then all of a sudden, Paul Maurice says, hey, you're in. He hasn't left the lineup since, and he was such a huge part of what they did tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? Any great team make everyone feel important. I think that's a great skill for great teams. Doesn't matter if you play 2 minutes, if you're scratched, you come in and play a couple games. Everybody in that room makes sure everybody has an important role, no matter how many minutes you play. And he comes in and he's been.
This guy. What a comedy routine.
Then they used to have the WWE wrestler from Australia or something. Looked just like that guy.
Oh, man.
I feel like him and Tom
what a
Wilson are
moment.
going to be the next tag team.
That's true.
Wilson's got those antics down as
And
well.
the facial reactions is, yeah.
But listen, we're going to talk to Aaron Ekblad in just a little bit, but I mentioned just a statement win and the physicality. It's not just the fights that we saw at the end. It felt like they were hits with a purpose here, and hits on certain players. It was going after guys that mattered in this game and showing they're not going to be pushed around. And it was key guys doing that here.
It was. I mean, Bouchard, recipient a couple hits there. You see Bennett getting it. As the classic Florida Panthers pack mentality, and Connor McDavid, they targeted him all the time. They forced him to play through you. You know, it's hard to score goals in your rear end, and I'm sure 97 is going to respond after this game, but the Florida Panthers really made sure that they went after him. And if you're coming after one player, Biz, you're taking on the whole team.
And that's the mentality they've had for a few years now, and they've built an amazing culture, and they have toughness, and on top of that, they throw A.J. Greer in the lineup tonight after back from injury. So talk about another tough guy who can handle himself. So this team is just too big, too strong right now, and especially if Oilers don't play their game. I felt like they really played into Florida's hand tonight. They just got to worry about playing between the whistles, as Wayne talked about, because if they continue to play like that, and especially with that type of start, this one could all of a sudden end very quickly.
Well, I think you said it best. They got to initiate, not retaliate. They got a team that's good enough to regroup here. They wanted to come down here and split, right? It's easy to say, we're going to go down there and win both games. You're playing against the Stanley Cup champions. Go down there, win one game, go home 2-2, and get back to home court advantage. So they'll regroup. They've done it in the past. They did it last year. I know that this was probably one of their tougher playoff games they've had all year, but they're playing a great team, and a great team that's playing a style and a system. And the Oilers can't play to their style and system. They got to play Edmonton Oiler hockey, and that's fast, crisp, whistle to whistle, and play hard and get a big save.
You see Corey Perry here talk to some folks after the game. I mean, you know, that mentality and having that veteran presence and leadership, a guy who's been there, you're not going to dwell on it for too long. And there's Rat King with his fans.
Signing a cell phone. Cheddar cheese protein shake right there.
What's he drinking, a coffee?
No, cheddar cheese protein shake.
Only Darren Pang is drinking coffee right now.
I thought you have to have cherries in it or something now.
No, don't start right now. Don't start.
But you told me that the other day.
Do you feel? No, that's for gout.
Oh,
stop. Do you feel like the lack of discipline? I mean, you talk about the Kane penalty, 200 feet from your net, high stick on Marchand.
Wow.
I really felt like the flow of the lines for Edmonton were taken out of it early, and you could say the same about Florida, but I mean, you got tons of guys who can penalty kill on that team, where I feel like it's maybe a little bit more limited for the Oilers.
I agree. I think what happened was the Oilers got taken out of their game, what they wanted to do. And I think with those penalties early, some of their key players on their bench didn't get into the game, right? And all of a sudden you got 2 or 3 guys playing more than they should be, and you got 3 or 4 guys sitting there, you can't get into the flow. And Florida, they played their game, and they sort of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like Edmonton doesn't shorten their bench as much, and you know, I just thought that Florida played the game they wanted to play, and Edmonton didn't play their game. And trust me, they're going to be way better in Game 4, and they got to start the very first shift and stay out of the penalty box.
Yeah, and when you do get a power play, you got to take advantage of. We're used to seeing the Edmonton Oilers do that. They're 1 for 6 on the power play tonight. Often, the other team takes the penalty. They make them play. They make them pay. That was not the case tonight. 6-1, the final in this one. Sam Bennett doing work, scoring goals, the hits, the scoring, and the Panthers are 2 wins away from repeating as Stanley Cup champs.